Hey, Essosa.
Hey, my lovely.
How are you, babe?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Oh my days, I'm good. You're so tiny. How tiny are you?
I'm 5'1", guys.
5'1". No,
Yeah.
that is insane. Now, you've brought me all the way to Chelmsford, Essex. That's absolutely crazy. Now, as I know, you were raised in Canada, right?
Yes.
And you came here when you were 3?
No, I came here when I was like 7.
Apologies.
Yeah.
7. So tell me, you started primary school and it was in Essex.
I started primary school I was in kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
And then I joined primary school here when I was like 7, 8. So yeah.
And how was that?
It was very difficult. It was very hard to adjust.
Why is that?
I was the only black kid in my spot. Well, I was one out of 2 black kids in my school.
Wow.
And the only black kid in my class. And there was no other ethnic minorities.
Wow.
So it was like just me. There wasn't even like Asians and it was literally all white kids and then just me.
Wow.
So that was very hard to adjust to because kindergarten was very ethnically diverse.
So would you say that really kind of got you timid? Or
yeah, it did make me timid,
yeah.
Because I used to be very confident as a kid, and I think seeing the poor reception to me as a person made me very insecure, and it started to make me a bit of a people pleaser as well. So like I remember like I went out my way to change my whole accent, like change everything about me. Like I had to learn really quickly the nuances in language. So I remember there was this guy and he had like trousers and he had like it had a cool pattern on it. And I said to him, I was like, oh, I like your pants. And the whole class laughed at me. And they were like, she said she likes his pants. I think that the trauma from that moment, oh my days. And I think and it's a thing that a lot of people who've migrated to the UK can attest to. When you say things that is not the way they say it, it's like, oh, I want to go eat pasta. It's not pasta, it's pasta. I want to write in cursive. It's not cursive, it's join handwriting. And everyone is constantly correcting you, constantly correcting how you talk, the things you say, how you pronounce something. It's very exhausting, and they don't stop until all semblance of your accent is gone. Like, and it's quite,
it's quite, it's upsetting. It's really upsetting. And I can imagine from, in primary school up until secondary school, I don't know if it carried on in secondary school, did it? Or
kind of. I think by secondary school I had assimilated a lot into the UK culture a little bit, but not much as I have now.
Okay. My thing is, from secondary school until now, how were you able to, push yourself or get to a place where you are definitely confident in yourself again, and you didn't really care to be a people pleaser, if you get what I mean?
I think when I was like 14 and 15, the people pleasing was starting to exhaust me a little bit, because it was just like, whether you're a people pleaser or not, people are still gonna not like you. You can't please everybody in the world.
I agree.
So I was just like, you know what, I need to that's why I had no friends in secondary school, because I literally cut everybody off. I was like, I need to find out who I am before I become an adult, otherwise I'm gonna really be struggling as an adult. So I took 2 years off. I didn't really speak to anybody, focus on my education, getting out of that school, focus on producing music and writing songs, just so I could figure out who I was as a person and what that meant to me, and just kind of get back to basics. So I think from then I started figuring out who am I, what do I like, what do I not like, what do I like to dress, who do I want to be, and those things kind of helped me build, who I am now. You know what I mean?
I love that. That's amazing. I thank God that you were able to get yourself to that point where you're like, do you know what? I'm not going to allow my past to define who I am. I'm just going to level up.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what we did. We leveled up. Now, where are we going? To the park, right?
Yeah. It's
okay. Cool.
Like a nature reserve.
Now, you did say your school somewhere.
Well, yeah, my old school.
Okay, cool. And when I was thinking about what you were saying in terms of the things that you went through and stuff, there's a lot of girls that actually go through that right now, and not even just in places like Essex, but even in London, and it's very you know, diverse and stuff like that. What would you, you know, tell young girls that probably are going through something that you went through or is being bullied and stuff?
I was very much raised to be like, if something is hard, just push through it, which is a very like common, especially like immigrant like mentality. But in my opinion, if something is difficult, if it's hard for you to remain somewhere, go to somewhere that serves you better. Just leave. If you're getting bullied in your school, leave that school. If you like anything that if you can avoid like harming, like being in harm's way, just do it. It's not worth it. You just leave with trauma. You don't win. People are like, oh, if you leave and they win, like, no, they win regardless, because they make you feel terrible, and you're gonna leave with trauma that you're gonna have to talk to a therapist with in like 10 years time, and they're not gonna have any of that.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean?
I get where you're coming
from. So
it's
no point.
Some children can't even speak up to their parents and say, I want to leave. And some people will probably be like, some parents will probably be like, if they bully you, bully them back. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's quite difficult, but I do understand where you're coming from. Now, I know you love feeling casual, comfortable and stuff. What is really your like proper look like when you go out? You know? I
like when I go out, like
out.
Oh, I mean, I like to wear anything that looks good, like things that are like, I wear most times, if you see me like going out, I'll wear like something really baggy. Cause I really like 80s like street fashion and like LL Cool J and stuff. But like when I go out, like to the club or out for drinks or something like that, like I like to wear things that are like form-fitting but cute. So that can be anything from like a bikini top to like some like flare jeans, like low-waisted jeans, crop top and like cargos. So I don't really think about it. I just kind of like, if anything's kind of cute and kind of cute form-fitting, that's kind of like my go-to for like going out. Okay, cool. And stuff. So yeah, I don't think about it too tough. Yeah.
Who do you see like online that you're like, oh my god, I love their look?
I love Anne-Marie. I love the way she dresses. I love Anne-Marie. I just think she's a baddie. I just love her outfits.
I think she's a baddie too.
Her outfits are top tier. So and I love Moa Lola. Like, she's a family friend of ours. I love her. I love her whole brand. I love what she's doing at Moa Lola. And her style is so great. Like, she's like a really big fashion style icon. She's always been a big style icon to me, even when I was younger. And I would see her like family like dinners and like family barbecues and stuff. I always thought she was super, super, super cool. So seeing like how she's developed and become huge now is crazy. I love her friend Dato Black as well. I love Dato Black. She's amazing. I love all the Lagos girls. Like, I want to be a Lagos babe. But like, same. In my spirit, I want to be a Lagos babe. I'm going in December, so hopefully I can try and adapt. Do you know what I mean? I love like that Lagos babe fashion. Beautiful.
I feel like people should dress back like that.
I feel like people are. Oh yeah, of course.
I feel like it is coming back.
I think there's also a sense of like pride of being from Nigeria and being from Lagos and like being able to like adapt to that style again. Even the hairstyles, like French curl, like come on, all of that stuff is coming back.
It's true, they actually are. Now, majority of your songs are obviously things you've gone through and stuff, but in particular, for people that don't know, we talk about guys a lot, you know, we talk about experiences and stuff, and I know you've been through some good times and you've been through some bad times.
I wouldn't even say good times. I think they're all bad.
I was just trying to add a bit of, you know. They've all been bad. Anyway, she's sticking to her truth, chat. She's sticking to her truth. But what would you also like tell the girls out there, one thing that you have learned, or one thing that you actually noticed as a red flag and you didn't pay attention to, that you want to just help the girlies out quickly?
Any man who's like an Andrew Tate fan, or like a quasi Andrew Tate fan, because you, before they even say it, you know. There was one time, I've not got any songs about this guy. I've written some songs, but they're not coming out. I'm not giving him no clout.
Okay, cool.
But I went through his likes on Twitter, and it was like Kanye West and Andrew Tate should do like a podcast together. It would break the internet. I was like, why would he like that?
Why?
And then that should have been the first thing that I thought was weird. Small things that he would say, like if anything makes you feel like, oh, just like. But the thing is, a lot of people are not that strong because people like validation. They like being given male attention. Like there's so many situations in which I cut things off with somebody. A lot of women wouldn't do that because everyone's got their own reasons for wanting to be with someone. And sometimes maybe being an Andrew Tate fan is not a deal breaker because you like when he gives you cuddles. Do you know what I mean? But for me, that's not enough. So I just, nah.
So what would you advise? No, make sure they're not an Andrew Tate fan.
Yeah, of course.
What else?
Any misogyny, cut off because they're going to treat you poorly. Homophobic men, cut off, they're going to treat you poorly too. Yeah, that's what I would say. Just on the first sign of weirdness, I would just say cut it off. But I know not everyone's going to take that advice because people like, having cuddles at night.
People like attention.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So that's the only advice I would give. I don't have great advice because baby, but yeah.
Because you're trying to learn from your advice, from what you say, innit?
Yeah, of course. But it's not in terms of like, I have no issue cutting men off if I don't like even one thing you do. Like, if I'm like seeing you and then I find your socials and you posted weird stuff, you're not speaking to me again.
But what's weird to you though?
Again, anything homophobic, anything misogynistic, engaging, like being a fan on other people's, like commenting on other people's like socials, that gives me the ick.
Okay.
Just being a clout chaser, ick. Yeah.
What about guys that like dance on TikTok and stuff?
No. I know there's one guy and he's a friend of mine and he kind of does a lot of personality stuff and he's like big on like a side of TikTok that is like doesn't speak English.
Okay.
So he does that and that's like, if you know him, that's his personality. Like he has a really big passion for music and so sharing your passions on social media and it doing well, that's like that's different.
Well, thanks Essosa for your lovely advice. Essosa, my babes. How are you? How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm feeling very serene, very calm.
No, that's good. Thanks for actually showing me around Chelmsford.
Of course.
You had me travelling like... I'm a South babe and now you got me all the way in Essex.
I know,
It's fine then. Now, I just wanted to ask, do you remember anything from living in Toronto?
I do. So I didn't grow up in Toronto. My cousins, my auntie's cousins used to like live there, so I get my hair done there all the time. And always go to like fast food, like KFC and like chicken shops and stuff there. I grew up in Oakville.
Okay.
Majority between Mississauga and Oakville.
Okay.
And I remember everything.
Literally.
I went to school there and like, all my friends were there. I used to go to the park all the time. We lived in a really big house and like I used to like wake up in the morning and go like my parents' house, the room was on the other side of the landing, so I'd like run across the other side of the landing and like bother my parents and stuff.
That is insane.
So yeah, I do miss, I want to go back in that house because I miss that house a lot.
Yeah, and even going back to what you were saying in terms of like the difference between the UK and, America basically. Where do you prefer?
I've always preferred to be somewhere where there's the most opportunity for me. Do you know what I mean?
So if it was ideal for you, you'd be in America right now?
Oh yeah, of course.
Same man. I'll be real. I want to go to America. I'll be real. That's where my people are. I feel like that's where my tribe is. But
I'm planning on moving there like very soon.
Amen. So. Amen. That's what's gonna happen now. Now, girl, let me tell you something. I've been really, really, really paying attention to you, and you are absolutely amazing. Like, you're unique. But before we go into that, now at 8 you started songwriting. Do you remember the first song you wrote?
I think I do.
Okay, go ahead.
I think when I was a kid, like when I was really young, like I used to always write my own melodies and stuff. I just wouldn't put lyrics to it, or I would hear a song on the radio and then change the lyrics. But I was the first song that I probably wrote that I remember writing was called like Stephanie Please, and it was about like I was in the UK and some girl had like lied to Stephanie was my best friend, and some girl had like made up a rumor that I had like been speaking badly about her.
Oh God.
And then so I wrote a song about it called Stephanie Please, and it's me like saying like I didn't do anything, like please like believe me basically. I was like super young, but the song kind of slaps though. I still remember the melody. So
go ahead.
Oh my gosh, it's like I remember this first part. It was like Stephanie Please, no I didn't do nothing, swear I did nothing at all. Stephanie, please, na 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 na, I'm not lying. Something like that. That was like the hook.
No, that is crazy. Sorry, my friends need to start making songs for me when they piss me off, or I think they've annoyed me, or maybe they just want something from me. Start singing songs, honestly, because your voice.
Oh, thank you.
I even made a song when I was younger too.
That's cute. You could. That's a talent you could hone. You know what I mean? You can develop that.
But I was talking about like cheating when I had nothing to do. I had nothing to know about cheating at all. So I was just thinking, why am I talking about this? Why am I thinking about this?
That is hilarious.
It was so funny at the time. Now, I'm aware your parents wanted you to focus on education. What did you study at university, and how was that journey for you?
I studied pharmacy, and that journey was absolutely horrible because I hated it.
Really?
Yeah, I hated it. It wasn't even something I actually liked. Like, I think if I did a degree that I like I'm more of a like humanities babe. Like, I'm a humanities babe.
Right.
If I did something like English or like politics, I would have eaten politics down. I would say that.
Really?
I was always really good at politics.
Okay.
In school, or like, I don't know, just anything that wasn't science. I mean, I was always good at science too, but you know, if I did a humanities thing, I think I would have enjoyed my time like way more. But like the sciencey, the pharmacy chop, like and I literally remember being in school and we used to have to learn about like things, like bad things that happen in pharmacy, so you learn not to do it. And it was saying about how some pharmacists like killed a baby because they did the titration of the medication wrong.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, and they went to jail for manslaughter for like 15 years.
Oh my goodness.
And I was just like, baby,
this is something I
this
cannot
is not
do.
something, because that's something I would do. It was like it was meant to be 0.01 and she titrated it to 0.1.
Oh my god.
Dead of the baby. I thought that's exactly something that I would do with my ADHD self. Please.
Oh my god, yeah.
So I knew I could never go into that.
But did you end up graduating though?
Yeah, my graduation is literally in a couple of days.
Oh girl! Yes, even though you didn't want to do it, you did it. Yeah, you did it.
I did it indeed.
You did it. See what our parents got us doing things that we don't want to do, but you know.
I feel like I have like a weird opinion on that.
Okay, go
obviously
ahead.
Respect to my parents, isn't it? Because obviously, like they just basically want the the best outcome for me possible.
100%.
But sometimes, and it's a very like immigrant parent mentality.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just not by force.
It's not by force. It's not by force. Because even me, I graduated, and I'm not even doing what I graduated.
It feels like a little bit of a waste of my time. Yeah, a little bit.
When you were a teenager, what were the artists you used to listen to?
Ooh, Michael Jackson, Amy Winehouse, Tina Marie, Madonna.
No way you listen to Tina?
Yes, bro. Tina Marie is like my top. Is like my top listening artist for the past like 5 years.
Oh,
down.
I love that.
Janet Jackson as well.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of 80s music, like 80s R&B. People always think my inspiration is 90s R&B, but it's actually not. Like, I listen to it and study it so I can build off that inspiration, but I mainly listen to like 80s.
I discovered, as I said, your sound. What made you take that leap of faith to start dropping EPs and singles?
When I was but before everything.
Before the whole hit, everything.
I think so. Obviously, I've been writing songs for a long time, and it was always my goal to be an artist. That was always a goal since I was like 8. So like I started off like obviously writing, but I would always write with like arrangements in my head. So then I started producing those and learning how to produce on Logic. In lunchtime, I would like go to laptops, go on Logic, then have to produce for tutorials and all that stuff, and like produce like demos. And I was like, I'm gonna make all these demos and send them to a label and email them to people so they can like sign me or whatever. So that's how I started. Yeah. And then I think the industry was changing in that time. So a lot of people were like either like doing covers and getting discovered online, or releasing their own music and getting discovered on SoundCloud and stuff. And I knew that I didn't feel like I had I didn't feel like I had a comfortable space to release, like record in my house or record somewhere and post it online. I was very, very scared of that because I was worried that my parents probably wouldn't be a fan of that. So I just was like, okay, let me just like start like just recording songs and just putting them out, and in that way I don't have to tell anyone that it's me.
That's you.
So that's what I did. So I just started recording music and putting it out, and like not really.
So you were
telling
anonymous
people it was me.
for a bit.
Yeah, I was anonymous. People knew, but it wasn't getting to my circle of people.
Yeah.
And then but those songs are like not on the internet anymore. But then I went to uni. I feel like when I came to uni, like I had a better sense of self, and the way that like Chelmsford is very small, and London is huge. So it wasn't like I felt like I could just be myself. I think that's why I love the city. So I started like putting out my own music like by myself through all the knowledge I learned from putting out music before, and I was able to like promote on like the internet and like do my own content because I lived in my own like house and didn't feel the pressure of like, oh my god, people are gonna see me doing XYZ, So I think just being on my own made me be like, you know what, I actually want to do music. I'm in a space where I can do this comfortably with my own recording equipment. Just started doing it and putting it out. So
yeah, look at you now.
It's actually, I thought it would take a lot longer because I started putting out my own music properly when I was like 19 and I'm 23, but I got signed at 22.
Look at
so
you
that
now.
was like 2-3 years.
Crazy. See how your life can just change just like that.
Just like that.
And speaking of life changing experiences, now your song Waste My Time went viral with over 500 million views on TikTok.
That is so funny.
And 6 million streams worldwide. To this day, how does that make you feel in 3 words?
Grateful, happy and relieved.
Oh, I like that. Very simple and subtle, but it makes sense. Grateful, happy and relieved.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that's good, man. Now we know the story behind Waste My Time. What I want to ask though is, after your song went viral, did that guy spin the block?
I don't even know if he knows about him, to be honest.
Do you think
he like moved to like Kenya. That's why he ghosted me. He literally moved to Kenya.
No way.
Yeah. So, and like he's got a new thing now. I don't know what he's doing. I don't even know where he is now. I don't even know if he's in Kenya anymore. But he moved to Kenya, so that's his thing. But he did. He blocked me at some point, but I think he unblocked me.
Okay.
So, but I don't think he done it with the intention of coming back.
Okay.
He's got
cool.
a thing, like, nah.
So if he was to come back, or not even saying now, but at the time, if he did come back, would you have given him a second chance?
By the time I wrote the song, I didn't care about him. I just wrote it because in the studio we were talking about him randomly. It wasn't even about the song, and then the producer Sunset, she was saying like, oh, like, he should write this song about him, and I was like, no, because by then I was so over. I was dating someone new, like I didn't even care. And then she called the beat "Waste My Time." And I remember thinking, I'm not writing a song called "Waste My Time" about this man. Like I was like, nah. But then one day I went home, I was like, let me try and see what I can do with it.
Yeah.
So that's why I wrote it. It wasn't even because I wasn't over it. I was definitely over it. It just was like, I didn't really process what happened. I thought it'd be a good way to process the pain that I felt at the time. So, yeah.
That's crazy. And look now, you see. Producer, what's her name?
Sunset.
Sunset. I said Sunshine. Jesus. Sunset did you an amazing job for you.
Yeah, she did.
She did. Shout out Sunset. Now, I've been looking at your tweets on X.
Oh Lord.
Oh. Now
I forget that people could see what
you quoted a tweet that said, Easter 2022, I told my friend that I'm gonna find a boyfriend during the bank holiday. I moved to a guy at the end of the day party. Last week he asked me to marry him. You responded to it saying, in my opinion, approaching a guy first is not that deep, especially if they turn out to be your person. Does this statement still stand for you?
Yeah, it does, because it's just not that deep. I just feel like I feel like growing up, and it may be different because obviously you grew up in a very like small like town and stuff, but like I feel like growing up in that sort of like post Sex and the City world, it's like, oh yeah, like you know, making the first move is like, it's cool, like it's feminist and and I feel like in the past couple of years there's been a really big like, you can never approach a guy, don't even look at a guy, he's meant to come after you and red ted tail. But the thing is, sometimes when that come after you are claps. They are. Sometimes they are just clapped. Sometimes if you want to get a guy that you want, you have to signal that you want him. Yeah. Because a lot of guys find a lot of girls attractive. Just because he didn't come up to you doesn't mean he doesn't find you pretty.
Yeah, that's what I've kind of noticed this summer,
especially in the UK. Especially in the UK.
Yeah.
In America, like there's a more of a culture there that if they like you, they'll get you a drink and they'll come up to you. But here it's very like conservative, especially now of all times. Like a friend of mine from Australia, she came and she was like, I went to the party and like no man approached me. And not because she's ugly, just they saw her, liked her, just didn't say anything.
Yeah. But don't you think that's kind of a bit like soft?
Like as a man?
Yeah, as a man. Like, no?
I don't really think about it like that.
So how do you think about it? Do you think, okay, you think like there could be certain options, like, oh, it's either they're with someone, or they're either they're talking to someone, or they're interested but they can't be bothered.
Sometimes it's that. And also, we have the internet, we have hints. Like, if you're a man and you go out, you don't go up to someone that day, you probably have bad things you can talk to on Hinge. So I'm obviously, I'm an Aries. I'm very like, if I want something, I get it. I wouldn't say I approach men, but it's like, if I'm in a circle talking to people and there's a guy that I find attractive, I will start a conversation with him, or I will like signal that I want him. Yeah, I will just something. Oh, I like a jacket. Oh, I like oh, this brand, I know this brand, or something like that. Like, I might, or sometimes I do it without even with the intention of like approaching him, but it will, if they like you, they will actually pursue you from there. You don't have to keep doing it. But there are some girls who are mad, like, who will be like, yo, what's your number, what's your Instagram? There are girls who do that.
See me, I can't do that.
I can't do that either.
I can't do that. Because what if you get shut down? Like, what if you're like, the guy's like, he'll lie and say, oh, I got a girl, but really and truly, you don't have no girl. He just doesn't like you.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't even find you attractive. It could just mean, it could be anything. It could be anything.
Yeah.
It can be. It's not always about attractiveness. Like, there's been times where, like, I've been with my friend, and I've gone to some random guy on the street and be like, oh, do you think my friend is pretty? And he'd be like, yeah, she's really pretty. And I'd be like, okay, why didn't you say hi to her? He'd be like, well, there's no reason.
Yeah, there's no reason.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the world.
It's not, and there's plenty of fishes in the sea. Now, your EP is absolutely amazing. I love it. You did amazing. You did so well. And I feel like with every song, it was definitely a story behind it in different ways. And I feel like it's what girls need.
Oh,
do you get what I'm saying? Because a lot of girls go through what you be saying on those tracks, darling. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's very, very good to know that you actually use your life experiences, or so let's say some of your life experiences, to, you know, voice it out differently in songs. So well done.
Thank you.
Now, I know you had your show. How was that?
It was amazing. It was so nice to see my fans in person and hear people sing the songs back to me. And I was surprised at how many people like knew the old songs as well.
Crazy.
So like songs that I put up before anyone even knew me. You know, so that was a very humbling and just a beautiful experience, and felt very blessed.
Did you feel a bit nervous though?
I don't really feel nervous before, but usually just before I got on stage, I feel like, oh my God. I feel a bit like that, but it lasts like 5 seconds. As soon as I'm on stage, I kind of get into it.
You're like, okay, my people are here.
And it's nice to see people there for me, and not just being in a showcase where it's like 3 people for me and everyone else is someone else. It's
true.
Yeah.
True. Well, congratulations, man. More to come, more to come.
In Jesus' name.
Amen. Now, for girls looking up to you and want to be in your position one day, what advice would you give them?
Don't listen to people who are naysayers, because there's so many naysayers. People, especially, I don't want to be like in the UK, but I've actually lived outside of the UK, and I have majority of my family outside of the UK.
So you can compare.
So I can actually compare. People in the UK, a lot of them, it is, I don't want to say it's bad vibes, but a lot of people like are not very aspirational. So when you are aspirational, the natural thing is to be like, why would you want to do this? And it's just like,
facts.
It's a European mentality, but like it's in the UK as well. It's just because we're so comfortable here, we don't have to like grind to achieve something really, really, really big. Yeah. But in other countries where there's not really as good as a welfare system, that like aspiration to be on top of the world is strong, because if you're not on top of the world, you're underneath the ground. I agree. Yeah. So it's like, because we're so comfortable here in a first world country, like I feel like people are not that aspirational, because you can literally not be aspirational and you'll do fine. So as you said, just fly away from the naysayers. Honestly, guys, get them away. Away. Because they will the mentality will impact you. Yeah, I agree. Because even me, when I think about it, I used to work with kids. So now that I'm actually doing what I love, it's a different feeling. Moving on. So what's next for Essosa? Ciao. New music, of course. I'm making music. Yeah. New like concepts, new creative, new artistic directions. I feel like this past year of my life, it's been very me, which it is. But obviously, like, I just finished uni, figuring myself out. Like, a lot of clothes I've been wearing during this era is like clothes that I would have worn to like uni, school. and as a sort of like kind of coming of age, like, you know, just like leaving that environment and becoming a young adult. And I feel like now it's time for like the aspirational Essosa. Like I'm trying to step into what I want to be, and step into the silhouette of who I want to be seen as, like, in the future. So everyone who's known me from here, like, you were there from the beginning, and now it's time to level up.
We're leveling up, baby. Well, we're wishing you all the best on Vicky with the Vibes. Listen, and you'll be back again, trust me. Back and better. But yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for having me.
And for coming.
Of course.
Even though we came to you. But I loved everything. I loved the journey. Thank you. That's it, guys. It's a wrap.